Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Kim, and my channel is Kim Can't Stop, excuse me, Kim Can't Stop Crafting. And if you would like to subscribe, please go ahead and do so, and that bell will let you know when I upload new videos. So a while back ago, I had said I was going to start a little series called Dig Out Those Dies, and I did like 2 or 3 little episodes, but then I just kind of drifted away from it, and I've had someone remind me that, you know what, I kind of like those. Are you going to do another one? So I did put something together for you, and I hope to put a couple more together, but I just thought I would make some sort of charms with you, or dangles, for the edges of mini albums, or if you have a journal and you have the elastic closure. These are kind of long for that, but you could make another type that was shorter and you could dangle it from there. You could even hang it from a ribbon on a package. They're just kind of cute little embellishments. So what I did was I have both the garment hooks, or the garment pins, and then I have these little claspy things. It's driving me nuts. I had bought some of these, like a whole big container, and I can't find them anywhere. So I'm racking my brains trying to figure out where I put them, but I did find a few. And so all I did was I took a die and I made it a couple different times in different colors and layered them so that we had a pretty little design here. So I like hot air balloons. And then I just added a charm at the bottom, a doily at the top, and then that hook so that you could hang it from something. And it's kind of lightweight, so if you put it on the edge of a mini album, it doesn't weigh it down so much. It's not so heavy. Now, of course, you wouldn't have to do a doily. There are other things, but I didn't have any of those like beads that have the head on the top and the hole. And I have some pins that I could probably make into those, but I just wanted to save time. So I just stuck a jump ring through a doily and called it good. So there's this one. They all kind of have the same idea. I was just practicing. I had to look through some dies here. So we have another one with just a little gold heart at the bottom, and that's because the basket at the bottom I made gold. And again, I have that doily. I've had these doilies for a long time, so I figured it was time to use those also. So dig out those doilies. This one has a heart at the bottom. Now, when I was going through my stash, I also found a bookmark that I had purchased, and it was just this gold part right here. It says, "With God, all things are possible." Just this, and it had a ribbon on the top. So I took the ribbon off, and I had some, those jewelry finding things. They're on a long card. I took it apart, and I used that for the connecting piece, and then I put a butterfly. I have a die, and I cut it out a couple times, and then layered the different colors. So it's a sparkly gold, pink, and there is a little bit of a sparkly white in there. I don't know if you can see it or not. And then I have that pin. And then the other butterfly, again, I had one of those jewelry cards, and so I cut it apart and used the top as my connecting piece. Then I have the butterfly. I've been cutting apart a chain for my to connect the bottom dangle, and then I just had a little blingy bling down there. But again, they're lightweight, so they're kind of nice to have. I did some packages for birthdays. I have a gold and pearl down at the bottom. Again, I cut apart. I wish I knew what those, you get them at like the big box stores, in the jewelry department, and they're long and they're whatever. So I took it apart and I used this part for the top, and then I have a garment pin. And then here's the other one I've done. That's a Tim Holtz heart on the bottom. And there. So by digging out those dies, I went and looked through my dies, and I thought, okay, well, what kind would make the best kind of dangle? So I didn't want it too small, and I didn't want it too big. So here's another example. I just layered some stars, so you could do that, and then it would, find which way you want to be up. But some dies work better than others. So not only can you do the dies, though, you can also do like ephemera pieces. So I'm going to put one together for you and then just show you the process. I'm not going to show you cutting out dies because you know how to cut out dies. But let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, lightweight is good. I'm not going to do this one. I have another hot air balloon. So it's got like a silvery black, kind of a blackish silver sparkle, a white glitter paper, or not white, it might be silver, I don't know, and a pink background. Then I laminated them. So all of these are laminated. As a teacher, I like to laminate, and so I have my laminator going right now because I'm going to do some with 2 ephemera pieces from the Country Craft Creations collection. So after you laminate it, you want to cut around the edge. Don't get too close to the actual die because you don't want your lamination to split open. You're going to want to find something that you want to hang from the bottom, and I have another heart locket here, like so. Now, because I don't have it, I need to go to the store and get some of those beads that have the finding, or the piece on the top and the bottom to connect a jump ring to it. So I have another doily, so I'll just do like one that I've already done. So here's what I did. I took an old chain, and I'm using my pliers to cut them apart to use as my connecting piece down here. You will use, I use jump rings. So jump rings are just those little circular metal pieces that you can, mine are not, mine are split, so you can open them up. I have to have some pliers to hold on to these little things, so I have a couple pair of pliers. And then I have a really small hole punch so that I can punch a hole in the actual die and connect these things. So it's kind of hard sometimes with my fingers. I can't grasp things like I was, so might have to use this tool also to kind of hold on to things. So I've had my laminator going on for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and laminate. I use a full sheet. Well, let me just show you. These are the 2 pieces I'm going to laminate and do another charm using these. I'm not going to put any paper on the back, even though these are kind of, you know, it's paper, it's thin. I do like the lightweight of these charms rather than being so heavy. So I'll run these through, and I have, you know, to me that kind of reminded me of like a snowflake kind of. And then I have something to put on the bottom. So I'll go ahead and do one of these with you also, but I do need to run it through my laminator. I just have one of those Scotch laminators, and I have some laminating pockets. So let me go ahead and run that through real quick so it's ready when I'm ready. Okay, got those laminated. So I've already trimmed the balloon here. I might have to go back and trim a little bit more. Now that it's cooled off, I feel like it can be trimmed. You don't want too much of a border, otherwise it's kind of distraction to see that overhang. But you want to make sure it has a good seal. Yeah, that one got kind of close, but okay, so I trimmed that up. So the first thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to just eyeball the center of this basket and down near the bottom so that I can attach a jump ring. And let me show you how small this hole is. I have to look at it sideways to make sure that I get it centered. Let's see. And if it's not exactly perfect, oh well. Okay, so that's the size of the hole I'm using. So then what I'm going to do is open up some of this chain. So I need to know how many links. I don't want it to be too awfully long, so I'll probably just take like 3 links. So I hold on to one of the links with a pliers, and I see that little opening where it's split, and I'm going to pull one forward and one back so that it opens like so. And I'm going to take off the, did I open it enough? There we go. I think my pliers are in the way. I can't get that out. What's the hold up here? I don't want to open it too much. Why it keeps getting stuck. Ah. Finally. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is attach that into this hole, and you can do, maybe I should do a jump ring first. I'll just kind of play it by ear, and then attach this, but I'm going to see what it looks like with just this chain. So I put it through the hole, and now I have to close it, and I can see that I'm going to trim just a little bit more of this lamination on the bottom. So then when you put the chain through, you're going to go ahead and move again your pliers one forward and one backward to bring it back so that it closes. And I might want to do a jump ring. I don't know yet. Okay. This is so hard for me to hold on to. It's so small. I used to do beading, but whew, my hands, I just can't hold on to things like I used to. Oh, I sound like my mom. I sound old. Oh, don't take that the wrong way, Mom. Okay, just want to make sure it's closed. All right, so now I'm going to adjust it in this hole. I think I need to cut some more of that lamination. Okay, so now I have my chain dangling. I don't know if I was in camera to show you that, but so now I'm going to add a jump ring to this so I can attach it to the chain. So this is where things get so tiny. And my hands just don't want to hold on very well. So I got to find that opening. I think I saw it. Yep, there it is. So now I'll hold on to one side, and I can use my fingers on this because it's kind of more flimsy, and I'll just open it up and put the charm in there. And a lot of charms already come with the jump ring anyway. Maybe I don't want to close it all the way quite yet. Not if I want to attach it. And then I am going to attach this to the bottom. I'm going to put that bottom chain in there. And just loop it through and close the jump ring. So now we have our dangle on there. And the top, I'm going to go ahead and punch a little hole. Now it's kind of convenient. This one has a little hole right there, so I kind of use that as a guide for the center. I want to get somewhat close to the edge. Okay, so I have a little hole up there. And now I'm going to put a jump ring on the bottom of the doily and the top of the doily. And I'm just going to poke it through the fabric. And you want it to kind of hang even or centered, so you kind of want to eyeball. I'm going to put this, let's see, about like that. I'm just poking it through a piece of the threading here, and then I'm going to put that through the hole, maybe. It's not my fingers, you guys, it's my nails. But I'm not getting rid of them. Let's see here. There we go. Don't let go. Okay. So now I have it through the hole. I'm sure this is kind of hard to see on camera. And then I'm going to hold on to it with one side of the pliers here and close that. So now this is what we have. And now I'm going to put a jump ring in the center top. And I'm going to attach it to one of the, I'll just take one off the other one just to show you, but I got to find those garment pins. Do I have a silver one? Yeah. Sometimes when you buy clothes at the store, they have them on those too. So here's the garment pin I'll use. I'll just take it off another one. Take a jump ring. Jump rings are cheap too. You can get those just about anywhere. Open it up. Again, you want it to be straight. So now I can close it. Put it in the garment pin. And you can add more detail. I mean, you can add tons of dangles if you want. And then there it is. So this one's kind of long. Like I said, you just kind of have to look through your dies and see. My smallest one that I used was my butterfly one. But what I did then is, what I want to do next is use the ephemera from, what's this called? Christmas Dreams, I think. And you want to trim, like I said, somewhat, leave a little bit of a border on your lamination, but not a ton, but you don't want it to split open, especially if it's not a good seal. Run it through your laminator again. It won't hurt it. However, if you get it way too hot, it can crinkle. So just watch your settings, kind of get to know your machine. Now, if you don't have a laminator, they have laminating pouches where it's just like an adhesive. I use that at school sometimes. So you don't have to have a laminating machine. So I want to get a little bit closer at the bottom and the top where I put those jump rings. So I'll just show you what I'm going to do. I'll probably do it off camera so that it doesn't bore you. But so this has already been laminated. I have the doily I'm going to use for the top, and then I have these little I don't know where I got them, these little charms, and I'm going to put one down here. But what I'm going to do first is, I think it needs a little bit of color, so I'm going to glue it on top of a piece of pink paper. I have a round one too. Poke a hole, and then I have these little snowflakes, and I'll put a little snowflake on there, and maybe I'll even put something on the actual die cut. So alright, so I'll put this together off camera, show you what it ended up looking like, and then you can dig through your dies and ephemera pieces and see if you want to make a dangle. Alright, I'll be back. I still need to get, like I said, I need to find those garment pins, but those would be the ones with the ephemera. There's that one. And this one. So you can decorate way more. Like once you're laminated, you could start hot gluing or just gluing some little pieces here and there, little pearls or something. You can even have more charms coming off this. My whole goal was to make it simple, lightweight, and you can give it away as a gift on a package. So I didn't want to go into too much detail, but that was the new episode of Dig Out Those Dies, Dig Out Those Doilies, and Dig Out Those Ephemera Pieces. So let me just kind of lay them out here so you can kind of get an idea of where we went with these. Check out your dies, see which ones you think look the best. They don't have to be this long, obviously. I just kind of grabbed what I saw and went with it. I'll still do this one, I just don't know when. I think these are super cute. They'd be great on a package. Or if you make a gift card or give a gift card and you make a cool packaging for the gift card, you could hang this from it. Alright, that is what I have for you today. Let me cover up that ink mark. That's all I have today. My goal is to do another one. I think the next one I want to do is different things you can do with a bow die. And there's tons of stuff out there, but sometimes just seeing it all together at once is kind of helpful. So, alright, well, I appreciate you coming to my channel, and if you make any and you have used the Country Craft Creations ephemera, go ahead and post that on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. Alright, thanks everybody.